Well, it won't hurt to go 20 seconds early and say hello to Tom Gilbertson and promise you and everyone else, Tom, I was thinking about you earlier when I saw a robotic tractor and I couldn't believe it. And I had always thought, oh my goodness, it don't trust it. Don't trust the robotic tractors. So anyway, it's a flat earth nation. Mud flood was Armageddon. You know I'm never going to tell you anything else. Why would I? Wait, that's how I end the show. I'm looking for a debate, but tonight, this has been everywhere. Of course, the orphan trains, I think, kicked it all off. Recently, what was the cabbage patch craze really all about? So we had that going on. And I thought I would address that tonight. I saw a video on it. I don't know if I'm recommending these videos, but you've got to check it out. And then, of course, provocatively suggesting gene manipulation in Genesis chapter 30. I don't know what 30 through 45, the story of Laban deceiving Jacob's wages. So we'll get to that, but to build my case on this Cabbage Patch cloning thing, I here's the I think kind of crazy, collection of baby postcards on Pinterest. So I checked it out. Here's a blown up picture of it. You know, and I just think, what are they advertising? On the front, it's mostly young female children, if that's how they identify. I don't know. This one here kind of seems to be just, this was a postcard, three children taking a bath at one time. And so there you go. I've got to say I think that's kind of crazy. But I used the thumbnail and thought I would address it. What did I search for here? Still the Cabbage Patch Orphan Train clone. So I got, here's the tale of the Cabbage Patch. So somebody's talking about that. Oh my goodness, it's Cabbage Patches and orphan trains growing cabbages on trains. There you go. There's more. Those are cabbages surrounding those children. It was a big craze back, I think, 1980s. When you look at it on Bing, that's Bill Gates' deal. Here's a video. So I think I have that video pulled up. This is what it comes to, or here it is. There it is. That same video. Repopulation postcards on Reddit. That's getting it done right there, man. So that's how old that is. There's my email address if anybody wants to say hi. So I looked it up on YouTube. You can see the origins of the orphan train. This is way down on it. You know, but they're mixed in there. Some just Cabbage Patch mania. in the orphan train riders, growing children, human cloning, orphan trains, and the cabbage patch by the cryptid huntress 7 months ago. Over 4,500 views. Wow. Oh, the orphan trains 8 years ago. 250,000 getting, so the first one is that Cabbage Patch orphan train clone thing. Do we need to watch that? Because I have this other one pulled up. This is the lost art of bonsai children, child buyers, chicos, and artificial dwarves. From the mind unveiled with a 250,000 subscribers, 38,000 views, 22 hours ago. I wonder if that's current. Risking a bandwidth meltdown. Well, I can hear it though. I wonder if you can hear it. Yep, so that's pretty close. 38,000. Deepest, most thought provoking channel that there is. Well, I hope that some of these people in the chat room would want to, hey, here's an expert on Cabbage Patch children. And Vicnoid, it's so good to see you. While I was chatting away, I thought I was just talking with me and my buddy Tom, the ultimate farmer. Cabbage Patch Kids brought from the stork. There you go. Welcome. Welcome. And, somebody that's dropping covenant, remnant right in their title there is good. Symbolism. I know the elite like to eat their vegetables and their $68,000 hot dogs, according to former president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama. He's from Chicago. I was from Chicago. I didn't move to Colorado till 2013. That's some confusion I hope to end right now. Who cares when I moved here, right? So anyway, mind unveiled, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna, let's look at it. Well, my chat quit working. I have a monitor here where I can do some of these things. Yeah. Child buyer.
Ancient art. I mean, if you can even call it that. But apparently that's how they perceived it. What we're dealing with is a lost art and science of a global secret
So
society that was in.
it looks like, and I'm going to interrupt it here, and I don't know if it's worth it, but the sound is not working. And I wonder if I hold my microphone because it's coming out this monitor. Hi, Joy for Yeshua. You're new here. Everybody is in my opinion is, we love the Lord so much here. And we're going to be getting into a Bible study very shortly. I'm just going to be showing some pictures and some closed caption, reading it, and then getting into the provocative Bible study for tonight. Welcome again. Welcome again. And again, you saw that link in there. In a few minutes, I'll say, hey, jump in there, because usually for new people, Joy, that link is for Randy, permanent uh, co-guest. What is that? Special guest star, content provider for friend for years. And anyway, here, check this out, man. This crazy stuff, man. Let's go full screen. So, always interested in global secret societies and children, right? And supposedly they're growing these dwarfs in jars and doing genetic manipulation on people so that the royals can laugh at them. Conspiracy are us and the clowns and the jesters that's been on our radar for some time now, still looking for a definitive answer. Uh, unless you have that definitive answer and you've been holding out on me. Yeah, so supposedly they made these monsters so that the royals can have somebody to laugh at, made little humans into to look like monkeys. It's crazy. And that Victor Hugo wrote a book about it. And he's famous. So he made these creatures. And that book said that they grew them in jars and some they just, genetically manipulated. These aren't real monkeys. They made humans to look like monkeys. So they say, and same with what they call dwarfs in this video. That's where these blimminings and other, that's maybe they want to say cyclops. I don't know. But here they have the dog head, maybe to try to explain away the infatuation with that Anubis from the dog star Sirius. When don't tell me you knew that's how to pronounce that name when you were reading those Harry Potter books and doing that decoding and things like that. So the servant, and he even gets into the castrati, how recently in the 1800s, they were emasculating children to keep them singing, and probably we're going to try to have that, forbidden sex with them, that, uh, you know, we all know what they're doing. It's that, they're pretending those boys are girls. And so these grew in jars. Not her, these guys. You-
This became convenient as by ordering your dwarf, you're able to have him in any.
What in the world what was going on back then? These guys and those alchemists, Victor Hugo, I thought he was a little more, re I guess he's respectable, right? I mean, Les Miserables and the was in a store the other day, this one really helpful clerk was getting some herbs and things like that, and she got some black on her hand and rubbed it on both sides of her face. I didn't tell her, but she looked like that little match girl from Les Miserables, just older. So everybody had to have somebody to make fun of back in the day. Compancheros. This is they needed some ethereal voices, so that's where they got the cata, you know, castrati. Doesn't this remind you of what's he pointing at? Is that his knee or is that his, what's going on here? It looks like that from the Disney. It looks like something from a Disney movie to me. Getting right on that Bible study here. So he, of course, mind unveiled. Breaks down a lot of things and how people do weird things, break their feet, and have done different things, and tries to tie it into, prove that there really was. And of course, they call it all a myth, but something was going on somewhere, and looks like maybe those gypsies did something, who knows? Genesis chapter 30. We'll start with Laban. It means white. But Laban said to him, if I have found favor in your sight, I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed Laban because of Jacob. Name your wages, and I will give it. Jacob said to him, you yourself know how I have served you, and how your livestock has fared with me, for you had little before I came, and it has increased abundantly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I turned. But now, when shall I provide for my own household also? He said, what shall I give you? That's what Laban said. Jacob said, you shall not give me anything. He's going to earn it the old fashioned way. Earn it. If you will do this for me, I will again pasture your flock and keep it. Let me pass through all your flock today, removing from it every speckled and spotted sheep and every black lamb and the spotted and the speckled among the goats, and they shall be my wages. Okay, so this is bear with us. You got you. Some of you know this, some of you don't. Just a change of the wages. You're getting the feel of the program. It's really going to go down in verse 37. But oh no, Paco made me listen to 5 Bible verses. So my honesty will answer for me later, Jacob said, when you come to look into my wages with you. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and black among the lambs, if found with Jacob, shall be counted as stolen. Laban said, that's who the me was, Jacob. Good, the guy who used divination said. Let it be as you have said. But that day Laban removed the male goats that were striped and spotted, and all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, every one that had white on it, and every lamb that was black, and put them in the charge of his sons. And he set 3 days distance, a journey between himself and Jacob. And Jacob pastured the rest of his flock. And then all of a sudden, so here's where it gets interesting. Then Jacob took fresh sticks of poplar and almond and plane trees and peeled white streaks in them, exposing the white of the sticks. He set the sticks that he had peeled in front of the flocks in the troughs. That is the watering places where the flocks came to drink. And since they bred in front of the sticks, this is PG-13, I guess. They were breeding in front of these poplar white peeled sticks at the watering place. So the flocks brought forth. So, as a result of their breeding, the flocks brought forth striped, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob separated the lambs and set the faces of the flock toward the striped, and all the black in the flock of Laban he put his own droves apart and did not put them with Laban's flock. Okay, and so whenever the stronger of the flock were breeding, Jacob would lay the sticks in the troughs before the eyes of the flock that they might breed among the sticks. But for the feebler of the flock, he would not lay them there. So the feebler would be Laban's, and the stronger would be Jacob's. Thus, Jacob increased greatly and had large flocks. So, where did I start? In 41? I don't know. Let's start at 37. We'll see what we can see. because that other one with tab with verse chapter 30, verse 41 will be there for us. Should we look at, you know, I know the English Standard Version isn't for everyone. We'll look at the New King James Version, decent translation. Now Jacob took for himself rods of green poplar and of almond and chestnut trees, peeled white strips. So not plain. Remember, ESV said plain, not plaine, but plain trees. Exposed the white which was in the rods. He exposed the white in the rods. That's what you do when you peel them. That's what we'll be looking for. That's probably what I'm looking for. Anything interested? Fresh. Fresh seems interesting. How interesting. Dry up the green tree. Okay. You know, that doesn't burn very well. Ezekiel 17 and Ezekiel 20. And here, only 6 occurrences. Let's just go with it means fresh. Poplar branches took strips. Of course, one of one, and a whole word for it. Strong's Hebrew 6479. Peeled, spot or striped. Well, that's not giving us much to work with. That's giving us very little to work with. Strakes in the King James Version, stripes in the New American Standard, and also in ESV. Get used to this word. You know, is that what we got here? Pastitch and then pastal to peel. Again, with Genesis 30, and only those 2 occurrences used, you know, similar words to split, divide. Some differences I looked at in the Aramaic, the Syriac. I mean, come on, really? And this is what they're looking at. So it added this part for the way. Not much help for you there. I just didn't have much to work with, is the way I feel like. Peeled it, almond, exposed the white. So this is like Halaban. Laban means white, and it's the white. One occurrence, Genesis 30. So here it is, 3846 in your Strong's Hebrew Concordance. White. Well, no kidding. White. That's a pretty solid white. Maybe like leprosy. White, white, bright white. Huh, is it white? Yeah, there's Leviticus 4, 13, verse 4. It is the white of leprosy. It's that white. It's like you honky. Look down at your untanned skin. It's that. Huh. I would have expected to be so, but that's a pretty solid root word. Look at this. What we would maybe pronounce Wehalaban, nin with the nim at the end. That's the white. Exposed it again. Of course, if it's Genesis 30 and there's whatever's going on with the gene manipulation of peeling this in front of his eyes, not only did he see it, he obviously would have inhaled something of the liquid, whether, you know, just breathing in front of it might have been enough. It obviously was. We're trusting the scriptures. This is again some sort of laying bare, another form of stripping, exposing. Used only that one time, a whole word used up for the stripping laying bare from the Che Chasif. Chasif. Chasif is a prime. He strips the forest. Uh-oh, here's your uncovered. Don't walk up those steps and show your butt. That's very shameful. Scoop water out. Draw water out. Uncovered. Make bare. The Lord has bared his holy arm. Therefore I will discover the skirts, lay them. Stripped Esau bare. Dear Joel, the prophecies that fulfilled in that generation on Joel makes me glad that I'm going to only go through Gog and Magog and I didn't have to go through Armageddon. Wow. To draw out. Interesting. More interesting than some of those other ones because they didn't give us anything to work with, did they? This is stripping, and at least we got, you know, was that a pretty solid root word? And let's see what we got here. It draws it like water. There's that Isaiah 30, Haggai 2:16. Formative ending, stripping forest. Judah did that. Strip off oneself, a flowing skirt of Babylon personified as a queen. Okay. But this is all because they were breeding in front of the strips of poplar, chestnut, and a plane tree. Hey, man, don't call me plane tree. That tree's trying as hard as it can, exposed to the white. So the troughs, I mean, that's got to be just straight up troughed, right? Genesis 30, Genesis 30. Four occurrences, strong root, it's a trough, gutters, Genesis 30, Genesis 30, Exodus 2. Fill the troughs with water. Isn't that somebody helping Moses out? Let me draw some, fill some troughs with water, or Moses helping them out. The king held in his galleries, Song of Seven. Captivated by tresses, troughs. Maybe like braided hair, who knows? We're trying to look at it all. The branches again. Did we look at those? I think we did. The rods. Laid the rods and the cones in front, which he had peeled. Once again, strong, good root word to work with here. It's a rod and a staff. And these are the rods starting in Genesis 30. Took these rods, staffs. It's like Moses's rod, maybe. A lot in Genesis 30, Genesis 30, Genesis 30. Now Exodus. Back to Moses. Take your staff in your hand, your sandals in your feet. Struck the donkey. That's Balaam, number 22. This donkey just warned him, and he hit him with this type of rod that was laid before the breeding sheep and goats. Struck the donkey with a magic stick. Balaam, the, Tolkien Gandalf wannabe model. Bombadil. Staves. Here's Samuel 17:43. This might be interesting to some of you. Goliath shouting out, "What, you comest at me with staves? You come about with a rod," and he, cursed the Philistine to them. Well, maybe it was just like, is there a reason? Well, yeah. Is this the part I'm thinking of here? I'm going to jump right there, man, and go right to it. Let's make sure I'm at the right point here. Philistines, David and Goliath, right? And you know that the reason that, I mean, there was only two swords in the whole land That's why David didn't have a sword and had to go at him with a sling. They were coming at them. They were coming at them with swords. Everybody had a sword, and then I mean, he had a spear, and big bronze, and sword bearers, and they were under judgment. They were paying. I'm looking for that. I'm trying to read and talk as you come at me with sticks. That's that rod. And he didn't have a sword because there were. Does it mention it, or is it in First Kings when at that point of it when he mentions that there was no sword in the land? But that's not what this is about. But that's a true statement. I'm not making that up. Ask Luther. You know him as Yaswil Soaring. He probably does that. We'll now skip to 3041. That the livestock, beasts of the field, the flock. A lot of words for flock, but these are the ones starting in 21. Separating the flocks by themselves. Is that separating of Lot and Abraham? Right. Here's where the flocks are conceiving, the sheep gutters again, I saw in that one. That they might conceive. That might be interesting. Again, Genesis 30, again, with, a different type of conception, because it can't just be Genesis 30 and 31 when the flocks were mating, still same topic. King David, First Kings 1:1, Agashab was going to lay with King David, not for sex, but because he could gather no heat, even though they were putting blankets on him. She was going to be his warmer. That's why it says here is the manslayer is hot in his anger. Okay. All right. I got to stick on topic here. See what else we can glean from a couple of other verses. Well, I have another tab pulled up. What's this one? War clubs. War clubs. And I saw numbers. Ezekiel 39 called them war clubs. Their staff, the idol and their diviner's wand in Hosea 4. So these are very, in the overanalyzed Zechariah, that first staff, rod, union, bands, staff, favor, beauty, the two staffs, Hosea, Ezekiel, but a lot of 30, a lot of Genesis 30. So how'd I get here? Before the eyes, and I think I have a whole, I have this pulled up for later. I would not, well, that 5869. Okay. Haggai 2:16. How did you fare when one came to a heap of 20 measures, but there were 10? When one came to the wine vat to draw 50 measures, there were but 20. Right. I had that one up. That wasn't the one about the eye. We'll look that up. But to me, this is where the United States and all the other countries of the world is. We've been promised the moon. And when, you know, while we're busy studying with the stones and everything else crying out, everybody else is just believing them when they say, we have this and that in our national treasure, just extrapolate up from 20 measures, but we really only have 10. And we're going to be finding out, wow, oh my goodness, we don't have enough. All right. So that's Haggai 2. There's a Rubabel. Want to read something scary? He got exceedingly angry. Is it chapter 1 that... Oh, how did I go past it? I went the wrong way. Oh, this is... Oh, I can't find the scary part. And I want to get to the eye, just to show you where it comes from and how important it is that it was laid before the eyes of those sheep and goat, breathing before the rods, that somehow that from the trees that they mixed, whether it was the sight, the smell, or they ingested it, somehow that worked and caused spotted, different colors sheep. And he was using, for lack of a better word, on the, remember when he said he was looking at the using the stronger sheep. Or you remember. And when not the stronger sheep, he wouldn't lay them out there for Laban's sheep to breed with. And in their eyes, let's see, this is what Genesis 3, Adam and Eve eating the forbidden fruit because they saw it was good in their eyes. That pineal gland part of their eyes, they found Noah, right? Remember Genesis 6? All of this, oh no, bad titans breeding badly and doing this and that and taking wives and causing Nephilim and all of this. And then finally in Genesis 6, verse 8, Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Again, Lot lifted up his eyes and saw something that was good and said, hey, I think I'll take this one. That side of the Jordan looks yummy uh, in the sight. Their insight, whatever that is, when all of these girls are the 100,000 women I've met that are empathic, they just know what you're going to say before they say it. And then, you know, are happy to, are you thirsty? Yes, I am. "Oh, I knew it. Sorry, women. But it's like the next Cherokee princess I meet will be the 100,000th. But as I find out now, more of them might be true of the Cherokee princess thing in your sight. But let's drop down. Let's see. There's 887 uses of I. The I. We can't look at them all. Is there a we and I? There is. There's only one. Here's 10. That's kind of what I was looking for. Leah's eyes were weak. Nobody knows what that means. She was surely happy to have children, and she would do the mandrake thing to ensure the opportunity. Uh, Now the eyes of Israel were dim. That means Jacob. Uh, Proverbs, the eyes of man, the eyes of the proud are lofty, and they don't like that. And to build. Now, is any of this Genesis 30? Closing up here. Only that, you know, Sarah didn't have any children, I guess. Or was that? No, wait, that's way too late for that. Verse 3. Here's my maid Bilhah, go into her that she may bear. on my knees that through her I too may have children. Go ahead and read that New American Standard if that's your thing. But they builded, builded cities, builded houses, builded altars. I don't know if I was looking for building children, building goats and sheep that were stronger by breeding, doing something with the way you peeled trees. Again, this is only to be provocative as tomorrow is a very busy day for me. A lot, you know, of planning went into this, to get the PFAs and the PCBs and the Army and the military and counting on them. I'm not. I'm not. Even if they could afford to help the veterans like myself and who have been exposed to PCPs and others with Agent Orange, they don't have the money. They don't have the money to help. They're overextended. And that's the way it's going to be. They're not going to magically go, we'll help you. Shh, don't tell anybody. I'll be like, no, the whole idea is to tell everybody. So that's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed this show and that it wasn't provocative, but this has always been a puzzling thing to me. I believe those Jacob was doing the right thing. God was pleased. He blessed his sheep. It could have been a straight up miracle, but then again, it looked like something was going on with all that peeling and placing and time for their breeding. That's working, you hard-working men. You think you got it hard? That's working, peeling those sticks and judging when to put them out for the breeding. It's a flatter nation, and the mud flood was Armageddon. The golden age is past, and you know, I've got a few minutes. Go back up to the top of the chat. There's a link up there. If you want to tell me, what kind of help I need first and where I can get it, on the topic of this gene manipulation, if that's what you're talking about, it would be good. So I'll give you a couple of seconds, to hit that. Otherwise, finish up by saying I'm never going to tell you anything else that I think would lead you in a bad way. I am here trying to prove I have your best interest at heart. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Now, I'm going to close out this show, but I'm going to keep the chat room open. Oh, just one second. He said he'll come in here. So I can put a new link up, and I get it. It's a clogged up a little bit. For me, that's a clogged up chat room, but there's the link right there. It's brand new. I don't know what people have been talking about. Tapping. Senses, good ones. Electroculture. Yeah, that's interesting the way you're having, good success with that. Electroculture, permaculture, small pond fish hatcheries, all of those sound pretty good. What do you got? Anybody got a feeling on this one? Tom Luther, is this you know, am I getting to get a sock puppet, a robot, a premillennial rapture enthusiast? But electroculture rocks. It looks it's something that is it's new to me, but if it's been kept secret, it's probably pretty good, not, let's say, Jacob's mind was working in unison with the Lord. My hypothesis is Jacob created a type of force field that pulsated electric energy, which manipulated the genes at inception. Hang on there. And, that's an interesting thought. Fractal Education joins us. I want to welcome, is this sent back 1978?
Yes, hi.
You habla español?
No,
Parlez-vous français?
no.
You speak
English,
Deutsch?
English.
Come on. Hey, how are you gonna help here? What can we do? You know anything about this, genetic manipulation and, what could have caused it,
Well,
or
no, but when you say that they ran out of money,
who okay,
um,
refresh my memory because I'm tired and I'm old.
me too.
Who ran out of money? I know I ran out
Well,
of money.
you were saying that they won't help the vets, but I know somebody who wants to help the vets, and
Okay. Are they gonna
it's
be sounds great.
it's big too. I can give you a name of a man who's been kind of teaching us about how to get our things taken care of like we're supposed to. And it takes some learning time. I don't want you to take away from what you're teaching because I love listening to you as often as I can.
Oh,
You do.
I feel good, Lori. I just got the 40%. I'm working with a man now and I feel like the Lord has me here in Alamosa because tomorrow is one of those events for PAC where they're going, I'm going to be officially enrolled before August 8. My goal is to have Congress pass an act because I remember sometimes I'm very cognizant and I can still remember marching in the 1980 and 81 at Fort Bragg. Every time we jumped, because that's where Fort Bragg is for the 82nd, the Rangers, the Delta Force. It's the worst place I've ever been in my life. I can't believe I was stuck there for 3 years. And when we were marching, the roads all said, don't march on these roads. There's PCPs on them. And I've been wondering, Lord, how come this never comes up? Whenever I try to bring it up, it isn't. But right now, it's what's out there. There were a lot of people affected. The PCPs that they spread they may as well have been dumping Agent Orange on the roads at Fort Bragg.
Yeah,
And
probably.
where I'm at right now, you know, it's hard to enroll in college. It's hard to get a new place when you show up. Their first instinct is to, well, go to a real estate company. Well, a lot of times, people have been arrested. I don't have any felonies, but a lot of people do. But
Yeah.
even a misdemeanor, even having a eviction from an RV park where my bus was, and they had to get to access the septic system in an RV park, they can evict you. On my record, that just keeps getting kicked back by people going like, "What we'd like to see is your last 6 months of income. Can you bring it
Well,
back tomorrow?"
what if you were able to take them a year's worth of rent and prepay them? They won't
Right.
kick you out if you prepay them.
A
And
lot of times they won't rent to you if you have a dog. It's not as easy as everyone thinks. Everyone makes it.
no,
I'll
I
find a place.
no,
It's
that's
just
not the
that
part I'm talking about. I'm talking about the financial part. Because money talks. You've heard that before, right?
I've heard that it solves all things.
It solves a lot of things. It in these days, it's not always going to be necessary, but these days it's necessary to get our needs taken care of. But that's not what's supposed to happen, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I could tell you about, but it would take me days and days to tell you all about it. So do you see my Telegram channel there? That
That's
I
your
have.
Telegram channel?
It is. And so please take note of that
I just
and
took a screenshot of it.
take a message of it. I mean, message me there and I will be glad to. Are you on Telegram?
No, I am not familiar with Telegram.
Okay. It's a kind of a place where people are able to communicate more easily without, we don't know, we're probably being spied on, but we're not getting banned. Our content's not getting banned and shut down. So I just share videos on there. I share a lot of different things, but message me and I'll definitely share some stuff with you because people are finding out how to get our needs taken care of. And we're in a war, right?
Right. We're
And,
getting our ass handed to us.
well, I don't know if we are. We're in the
Hey,
process of winning, and
okay.
I think we are. I think, well, because God's on our side, right? All things work for good to those who love Him. That's
Right.
us. And I've been studying it for a couple of years, so it takes a while, and I'm not successful at it myself yet. But I'm believing there's so many people who are learning trust law and international bills of exchange, different ways. We're just doing our finances wrong. They
Mm-hmm.
know the truth. They know that we can have everything we need because there's laws that say the government is supposed to provide for all of our needs. There are laws that were passed in 1933 when they stole
Right.
our family's gold. So I can tell you more about it. I know we don't. You have
Well,
little time.
and I'd love to share. And I'm even earlier, I had thought about dedicating a channel to, my efforts working through the VA that wouldn't be affected with my ministry channel
Well,
because, and I should be in touch with you and know more tomorrow
okay.
about this and share it, because this is, it's part of my life too now and what we do.
Yes,
But
it
I
is.
also remember, and I know that General Smedley Butler and the Bornus Army and how Patton and those people killed the people that were promised bonuses for serving in World
Right.
War One.
Right.
There was an economic situation, probably intentional, that
Yes.
you've just referenced that was a reaction to 1929 when their money and bonuses were made worthless. And they said, hey, wait, we've been sacrificing for those 10 years. And
Yeah.
now you're telling me it's never.
That
That's
was a
where we're
takeover.
at. That's
Yeah.
where we're at.
That is
Because
where we're
yeah,
at.
I know all things work together for good and they always will. But where are we in history?
Right.
In a time of restoration or a
This
time of
this
judgment?
information will really encourage you. I promise you it will.
Right.
And the man that I started listening to, his name is Christopher Hauser. He's a vet and he especially has a heart for vets. And if you can look him up while we get connected, his name is Christopher
Right.
Hauser, Hauser, and they've taken some of his videos down off YouTube, but there's a place called Legal Ibis,
Hold on.
Legal. Okay,
LAG.
no, LegalIbus.com, and there are free classes on there. They're video classes where Christopher
Okay.
Hauser is teaching about getting our things taken care of. It's all in the paperwork. It's all in how we
Yeah,
do our paperwork.
and I've seen this and heard a lot of promises about, how people are going to, get you back your social security money and get rich off of that, of how they made money. And, I don't want it to turn into anything like that, but I got his name, James
Yeah,
Hauser. No, I'm
he's not.
just kidding, Christopher Hauser.
He's not. Yeah, he's not
Yeah,
asking for money. It's nothing about getting rich. It's
right.
about getting our needs taken care of.
Well,
It's
I do
about
know, let me share this real quickly with you, Lori. I do know that while I was at the Warriors Refuge waiting for my ankle to heal, there was a black lady who she's recently retired, but she was a volunteer, and I popped in to see her, and she had a way with the words and the forms and how to apply. And without that 40% disability that I got through her, that I'm going to be starting to contest tomorrow, you know, that's how the Lord provides for the people
yeah.
that he protects. I'm living in motel rooms because I
I know.
got back pay through November, and I'm not supposed to tell anybody, but I could do this for a couple of months,
Yeah.
and
But
it's not that
I
I
want
want
you
100% disability so that
no,
I can get a new
we
Subaru.
we do not need to even be disabled. That is a lie of Satan. We can
Right.
be whole and healthy and full of life like God intended us to be.
Yeah.
And you know who the enemy is doing this to? You, me. We went to visit some homeless people down on the tracks, and and this lady was in a wheelchair, and then her friend said she's disabled, and I said we all are. That's what the problem is. So now we need to all help each other get out of the wheelchair and get out of the ditches
Right.
and get
Take
up
the
and
first
go.
step.
Yes, and I want to help whatever way I can. Information is what I have right now, and this information is very encouraging to me. It's I think actually when when everything is done and over, I actually think everybody's going to be told to do all this information they've been hiding from us. They've been hiding these IRS forms and hiding these things. We need to learn how to do it ourselves. Nobody's going to do it for us. We aren't going to go into an office and say, and let them hand us the papers. We have to figure it out.
Right.
But I have a lot of the forms. I haven't sent any in because we are in a war and the Lord hasn't told me to send my paperwork in. But I'm also not needing it like others as badly as others are. So I want the people who need it to get there first. Does that make sense?
Well, and I think it's time for you to, to submit because, what I teach is that, we're going to be around until at least 2046, around in that time, and it's not going to be getting better. We need to have our health. We need
Yeah.
to, uh, whatever they give you is something you've earned. It's like the Bible verse he was just talking about, Jacob. They're
Yeah.
not giving you anything. They
No, it's
lied to
ours
you
already.
and they owe it to you.
That's
They're
right.
trying to
And
hide it from you.
that's right. That's exactly, you have it exactly right. They are hiding it from us. So the battle is on. It's raging right now, truly raging. And you're at the front lines, and injuries happen at the front lines. So I want to help you as much
Yeah,
as I
I'm
can.
I'm still at the same thing of just finding out from my doctor's appointment on Tuesday that it's been 10 years since I first came to Colorado, and I still have the same things. More people will be helped with post traumatic shock
Yeah,
through psilocybin mushrooms than they will with Prozac.
yeah.
You
Just
know,
refuse
there
the
are
Prozac.
different ways that you can
Mhm.
cure people,
Yeah.
and it's not all hippie nonsense.
Right. No, I'm with you 100%.
There's a way that I went from 280 pounds, and in since 2005 I've been working, and I'm down to 162. That's my wrestling weight from high school.
Nice.
And but it's the PCPs and things. I still get vertigo. there are
Yeah.
times where I just, boom, I black out.
Have
You
you been
know,
doing any earthing by any chance? Have you done any
I don't have
grounding or
as much
earthing?
chance as I have right now. I'm living out of 2 duffel
Yeah.
bags, in a city where I'm trying to get it,
Where
meet
there's
people and
blacktop everywhere. Yeah.
right, right.
But
But I
there's,
do. I will sit on rocks and carry rock in my pocket, looking into that, knowing that it's all about trying to, we have a spirit, whether
yeah.
we want to admit it or not. We're positive and negative batteries that are putting
Yeah.
off a charge, and there are trillions of organisms living in them. We want them working in sync with the spirit,
Yeah.
and that's how God protects us. And we can
Yes.
just do our best. Lori, I appreciate it so much, and Lord willing, there will be a, I'll get that done, have more information for you, get off my lazy butt and explore Telegram. That's what it's going to come down to, is that
Telegram is good. And I'd like to see you get on Rumble too, because Rumble
that
doesn't.
seemed hard. I
It
tried.
did. Oh, you
Yeah,
tried?
I did,
Okay.
and it just seemed like it didn't. Screencastify and StreamYard didn't make it easy to want to
Oh,
hook up with them. Same with BitChute. That was a failure. So
yeah.
many times you'd have to upload a video 3 times, and you couldn't do
Oh, yeah.
anything else while it was uploading.
I think I've heard that from other people
Yeah,
having
it's
trouble with it.
not user friendly
But they
as
don't kick you off for saying words that they don't like.
right, right.
So,
Well,
but
that's
God
where we're
bless
at.
you.
So,
Yeah.
like I said before, I'm going to say adios to everybody. Glad to meet a new friend. Everybody, thank you so much. Just so that the people remember, this is sent back 1978. We're wrapping up. Mud Flood was Armageddon. Never going to tell you anything else. Why would I? Trying to prove I have your best interest at heart. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho.